Why was Bhagwan Sri Rajneesh, later on called Osho, not interested listeners to have the same opinion than he? First, let me please speak on historical opinions. Why? Because they magnify excellently daily life difficulties with opinions. It is a well-known fact that there were in history religious wars. Both sides spoke on love. Nevertheless, sided fight. The same word love has for both sides a very different meaning. Such things happen also in daily life. I remember I was a small child and the woman came for visit and said, "Oh, my friend, so horrible all these things." I recognized immediately that he was using the word love in a different sense than she. There are men I like to love a woman just for some hours, and the woman would like to love him all the life. Then certainly there is trouble. The same word, but different meaning. When I did start to read the phenomenology of the spirit of Hegel, I said, if I do not give a sense to the words, the text has no meaning. Many years later, I did read in the book of Schopenhauer, Hegel puts the words and the reader must give them the sense. This is also when a couple is fighting. You give the words of the other most probably a wrong meaning. So when I was seeing this as a small child, I said, I must develop empathy. So even when the other cannot speak rightly, which is normally the case when the other is angry, then I can feel what he wants to say or she wants to say behind all words. So I will not be too much angry for the things said, but be more compassionate, for most probably he or she could not digest past experiences. I want to give you just an example of my life. I was a 7-year-old boy. I had to learn in the school the alphabet, but the O and the U for me were still very similar, so I could not distinguish. A man, it does not matter who it was, helped me, but got very angry because I did replace O and U here and there. He took me at the arm and threw me on the floor before a cupboard, and then with his military shoes he was tapping me. I was thinking if somebody in the streets can see you, you are finished. Then I remembered me telling things of his use, very horrible things. He wanted to help a farmer and did bring, I don't know the English word, the things one is mixing up with the earth in the field. By hand he did put here and there. Then his father said to him, "Who has told you to do this?" Then he replied, "I was thinking it is good for the plants then to grow." "Who has told you to do this?" "Nobody has told you, so go and collect it back." This is difficult to digest. That's why I say aggressive people are usually not in the first place aggressive, but in the first place not capable to digest past pains. My attitude of compassion to him made when I get up after having almost no pains. The pains come from the resistance. Okay, here you see the opinion of the man that wanted to help me and my opinion. I did not know these things, it was new. It needs a time of accommodation. Then everybody can read. Then I want to speak on opinions on several rungs of the ladder of wisdom. Then I want to speak on how to listen, that the truths behind the words turn manifest. One can say this is a cosmic truth. This is a truth given by God. One also can say this is a truth that was all time in you, but you were unaware, you did forget. So it is not a gift of God in the moment then, it is a gift of God long before, but you have forgotten it. So I will speak on this, how to listen, that what you hear from a wise one turns manifest, which is then not something imposed. It is a part of truth, of your own true nature. Your true nature was given by God long before, but you did forget many things. There is a unknown, not much known religion which has only one thing. They say we come from God, we did forget him, but we have a deep longing go back there. This longing is very important. There is a statement in the Bible: who drinks from this water will never be thirsty again. But hell is that most people are not thirsty. Hitler, I Hitler, Data, Side it suppresses thirst at the age of about 4 years. Neither Freud speaks on it, neither Jung. There are deep longings. A longing for unwritten truths, a longing for undirected love. When you have suppressed these longings, you become a drug addict. A man will expect from the woman things she cannot give. For she is a worldly being, and the longings are addressed to eternal beings. Then easily there are misunderstandings. Hitera, kai hitera, udata, epirai. The end, I will speak on a problemless life. And who wants to fight with me will fight against the divine compassion. So better you don't do it. Now let me speak on a statement on different rungs on the ladder of wisdom. There is a ladder of wisdom, of love, of compassion. When, for example, J. Krishnamurti says, to know what love is, you have utterly to die. How can you be of the same opinion? It looks strange. Now I will go down with this statement to a very low rung that everybody can understand. But this understanding does not replace the understanding of the higher rung statement. But without living this, normal, simple thing, you will never find fulfilling love. So, on a lower level, it is not less. It is like the leaves on the tree compared with the fruits on the tree. It's not less. It is just a different state of growth. So, when a friend goes out of your house, if you cannot say goodbye heartfully, if you cannot stay in the door for a while and say bye bye, Hermann Hesse would call this a small death. Every goodbye is a small death. If you have fight with somebody and you just go in and drink a whiskey, you miss fulfilling life, fulfilling love. This is an absolute need, that when there was fight, to do all to digest it. Just an example in my life, I was about even 13 or 14 years old. Then another one of the same age came to me and blamed me. Long blaming. Horrible. I was glad that I did read at that time text of the Stoa. So I was thinking, I do this. No excitement, no anger, nothing. I just listen to the things he says. I did not suppress anger. I just laughed the men of Stoa. So it was simple not to be angry. Then when he went, I went on a rock, sitting down, or on a bank, I do not remember exactly, and had the question. In all these horrible things I had to hear, perhaps I will find a golden coin. I was waiting and thinking, and suddenly I found it. Then, some weeks later, when the man came again towards me, I went directly towards him, gave him my hand, and said, "Thank you. Thou hast helped me to see something very important in my life. Thank you so much." He was perplexed. He had no words, and never again he came to blame me. Why did I tell you this? This is a small death. I heard all these things that could have made me horribly angry. Then I was sitting down to find a golden coin in it. Instead of going looking football or discussing anything or any silly things, I was completely occupied how to bring these things in order. This is a kind of death, a small death. And these kinds of small deaths are a need to experience, which is immensely sweet, immensely beautiful. The death Chai Krishnamurti speaks. You have utterly to die to know what love is. He does not explain. Perhaps he was thinking, I do not explain, explaining is just in vain. Now you have heard an example where a statement is made on a higher rung of the ladder of wisdom, compassion, love. And I tried to approach it on a lower rung, which is understandable. This idea came also to me in reading some text of Heinrich Pestalozzi. He calls it the elementary method. When I gave lessons of mathematics, I did not go on the blackboard and told, heute besprechen wir die Polynome ersten Grades. Today we will speak on the polynomials of first degree. Nobody will understand. I start with, we go in Migros, shopping some vegetables. The more kilograms you buy, the more you have to pay. And when you have no sack, you must pay something for the sack. Who has some understanding of this polynomials of first degree will immediately understand that this is a most simple approach to this. The price of the sack is a constant, additive, and the price of per kilo is if you have the function y is y0 plus a times x, and I is the price of the kilograms of vegetables. This was always my attitude to approach to higher things. Higher does not mean more value. You can say the apples on a tree have a higher value than the leaves, but is this right? There are no fruits when there are no leaves on the tree. If there are no flowers, it is just a growth, a development. Now we go to the next one. To listen this way, that the hidden truth behind turns manifest. Then you will understand why Osho says, I am not interested that you have the same opinion. When you take the statement of Krishnamurti, how you can have the same opinion? Goethe, the German poet, said the same thing. You die before you die, so you do not die when you die. Are you of the same opinion? Is this also your way of looking at things. Somewhere Osho says, somebody asked him, when life is so fulfilling, overflowing, so blissful, how does it come that a man can be miserable? Then he replies, life is fulfilling. Life is overflowing. Life is blissful. But you have lost the contact with life. Now to get an experience of this, lost the contact with life. This is no more an opinion. It is an experience. So it does not make sense to have the same opinion. Because the opinion is something most people can not understand in some way that touches life. Then how to listen is the same thing with Bible. And let me first bring an example of the time a man of theology told me this, and I was absolutely sure he is right. He said in the Aramaic original, there is no commandment. There is not said, you should not lie, you should not this, not that. There it is that. If you love Jesus, you have lost all interests for sins. This love cannot be replaced by effort in doing, by effort in being a good person. If you have not the force not to do it, you cannot forcefully not do it. You will do it. And this is the main thing of any guru. If you love him just because you love him, you will lose the interest in silly things. Love kills all silly desires effortlessly. Now, one more thing I want to tell. I did discover it in the age of 4 years. There were longings for unwritten truths, for undirected love. They were a little bit painful. Because when you love somebody, there is a direction. But in knowing love itself, no direction. It can be seen as something a little bit frightening, but it's not so much. I remember my mother speaking on a man who was in a house in fire. One could save him. Then she said, then he changed life attitude. I never spoke anything. I was thinking, a stupid man. Why did you not change your life attitude before? So you would not need the lesson. You can breathe, digest things, simply sitting on a couch and listening a symphony of Beethoven. With all these feelings, and you digest a lot. But now again to the longings. I was feeling as a child longings will be answered. Desires, better to forget them. Desires for new shoes. I remember my mother, she did buy me new shoes, and the old ones were still in my room. And she said, throw them now. I said, dear mother, I cannot throw them. They have helped me so many years. I respect them. I am grateful to them for their help. So I had not a desire for better shoes. I was more sad that the shoes that had helped me so long I can no more wear. Longings, one can say, have an answer. Desires, in many cases, have no answer. I never saw something of Freud or Jung speaking on these longings. But when you avoid these longings, when you suppress these longings, you turn a drug addict. It's very dangerous. These longings are a highest quality prevention of bad things. So, when you cannot wait for these longings to be fulfilled, you take some worldly replacement. This is a drug. You're a drug addict. So please sit on the sofa, chair, and try to reactivate your longings. Then, in understanding Osho, what is meant behind the words, this is deeply connected with longing. A longing for ultimate truths, a longing, where is God? A longing that He comes for visit. When everybody says He's so much full of compassion, why should He not send the Holy Ghost or someone? Say hello. Why not? Osho once spoke on a cow. There was a wise man with many disciples and a fence, and the cow, just with the head, could look over the fence. And it is said the cow was the only one that understood and soon later turned enlightened. All the people there were fixed to words. Only the cow was open for truth. There is also a story, a nice story. Gautama Buddha was walking around with his disciples. Then I said to him, "You see this man there? It is dangerous. Don't approach him." Then Gautama Buddha says, "I will see how dangerous he is." Then coming closer, the man said, "One step more and I will cut your head." Gautama Buddha said, "Okay, do you allow me to ask 2 questions before?" "You can have 2 questions, but then I will cut your head." "Okay, you have a strong sword. Can you cut the branch of this tree here with one stroke?" "No problem." Then Gautama Buddha asks a second question. Are you also able to reconnect the branch to the tree? Then the man that has killed so many people turned silent and said to him, "Please allow me to be your disciple." And it is said that some months later he turned wise and enlightened. This is the thing I also think by prisoners when they have done very bad things. This could be an opportunity that they will do all to turn wise, to bring these things in order. To know what love is, you have utterly to die. You will be surprised that there is only one woman in my life I truly love. She was going to die. The body could no more move. So she could not say, "I must go in the cinema, I must go to paella, manger, to eat paella in Orga." Nothing of this. No escape. Either she accepts my love for her, or she will in darkness die. When I went in the train after, from Solothurn to Bern, my heart was rich with love, fulfilling with golden light the whole space in the train. This was also a kind of death. To co-die with the mother. And my father had no access in the hospital, for she hated him. Now, why do you tell this? She told me some time before that my uncle did die on a chair. One eye open, the other closed. Oh, I did estimate this. With one eye he looks in eternity, and the other eye looks still in world to say goodbye. Then I said to my mother, she could no more speak. She got it. You have taught me to life when I was a young child. Now you teach me to die. And I want to say you that the second is much more important to me. I want to know what death is. If you do this thing for me, I take all things you have done unwell on me. I will carry it on my heart. You will go with a heart pure. Please make the same thing as my uncle. Close one eye and the other leave open, so I can see through the open eye death itself. And she was doing it. Then I saw, in looking in her eye, that her soul was filling the whole space. It was a diamond-like ocean of immense beauty. There in a corridor, the hole in the wall. Before this hole there was a white pigeon. I looked at her with one unuttered question, and she slowly closed her eyes. Then I was sure my question will be answered. In dreams, when I was 16, 17 years old, I remember there was a forest full of light and there was a fountain of wood. And I was looking what is inside. The ground was full of diamonds, sapphires, corons, rubies, tourmalines. Seeing this, I felt my thirst for wisdom will be answered. Now you get it. thirst for non-worldly things is an absolute need to understand, when you are a disciple of Osho, what he has not said. Then you understand he is not so much interested in having the same opinion. This is a worldly thing. He is interested in beauties beyond the birth. I remember my mother told from rich men, so I went to Monte Carlo playing with roulette and such things. And there was someone, a millionaire, he did lose all his money. Then you went to the next close rock and jumped down. Suicide. This is not possible when he has longing, unwritten truths, undirected divine love, a longing to get the sense of life, not a philosophical sense, but a sense given down from the realms of ultimate bliss, where our Heavenly Father lives. This is not a philosophical answer. It's a burning, alive, rich, wonderful, over wonderful experience. And just these days, I could see clearly, and it is important for anyone, the fire of life is not exclusively connected with sexual experiences. Most people say this brings aliveness. And I tell you, this brings only worldly aliveness. Be open for divine aliveness. I do not judge intimacy. If there is never a possibility of intimacy or something, how can you see, feel, experience something behind the worldly scene? And to end up this, I want to add something. Sadhguru often spoke on this. He spoke on several koshas, several bodies. He speaks of 5, perhaps there are more. Unless these koshas, this aura is cleansed, It is almost impossible to find fulfilling love. And please allow me to say this thing still. It is not made in our medicine. There is a Kirlian photography where experts can see disturbance in the aura, which will manifest half a year later in the body to turn sickness, cancer, or anything. Those I say bring this and this thing in daily life in order. Then the aura will be clean and disturbances cannot turn manifest in the body. These koshas, these other bodies, are as well a part of life as our visible body. To understand what is beyond the words, you must also have a longing to see, to experience the invisible part of you, invisible to most people, not to those who know them. So, to say at the end here, to go beyond opinion, to experience the divine truth, longings one should never suppress, sit on a couch and reactivate them, and your longing to have the other koshas realized should also be there. Though you will not say I'm a body, but I have also a soul, but you will say I'm a soul, but temporarily I have also a body. These things are important to go beyond opinion. There is a small booklet of Svatmarama, the Hatha Yoga Pradipika, the light of Hatha Yoga, where he writes, I did write this to help the people confused in different opinions. Also, Heraclitus speaks on it. When you turn adult, the toys you did use as a child, you will put away. Such a toy is also the opinions. You cannot see truth confined in words. Farewell.
Mein Name ist Stefan Kocher.
Thank you for listening.
A way to heaven. The personal subconsciousness has to be cleaned, so personal consciousness becomes clear and fresh, to rise to super consciousness, then to collective super consciousness, then to cosmic super consciousness, to reach to heaven. Way to hell. The personal consciousness is polluted by the personal subconsciousness, but there are much other layers of subconsciousness. There is a collective subconsciousness in which assassination is born, then the cosmic subconsciousness in which earthquakes are born, then there is hell. Okay. Lowest kinds of pleasures pollute the cosmic subconsciousness. Tongue stretching, lips licking, lowest kind of sexual pleasure. On top the heaven, then below cosmic superconsciousness, collective superconsciousness, superconsciousness, then the normal personal consciousness. Below, the way to hell, personal subconsciousness, collective subconsciousness, cosmic subconsciousness, and below the hell. I try since 40 years. Christian Church has heavily acted against me, but also Buddhist lamas and others.
Without longings, you will not get the meaning of heartful attentivity. Denn dort darauf wir wandern, nicht als Unweise, sondern als Weise. Und auch die Zeit aus. Vidite itaque caute quamodo ambuletis, non quasi incipientes, sedut sapientes, redimentes tempus, quoniam dies malis sunt. clarity of spirit. A spirit that sees the spirit is formed differently and ordered differently than one that only looks at the word of the spirit. Such spoke in the chapter 64 of 100 Callistos and Ignatius, monks in the monastery Xanthopoulos by Constantinople. The 100 chapters of Callistos and Ignatius are a first systematic synthesis of the experiences and knowledges of the Fathers in the connection of the prayer of the heart. Benziger, die kleine Philokalie. Longings help you to be patient. Problems only exist in time. When you leave time, problems will leave you.